Alex Garland is the master of minimum, and it is present with Warfare more than ever before in his filmography. I was going to say that right. This movie's a masterpiece. Y'all got to see it. Warfare is a very, very simple story. It's kind of like a theatrical version of that one scene in Civil War where they're pinned down by the snipers, and Kirsten Dunst is like, "Why are they shooting us?" And the soldiers are like, "Because they shot at us." And there's no real setup or resolution to it. There's no reveal at all. It's just that simple. Warfare is about a Navy SEAL team pinned down in a house in Iraq. That's it for an hour and a half. There is no setup in this movie. There's no mission briefing. There's no why are we here? And really, there's no resolution to their mission. For 90 minutes, it's just their survival. And once things get going, it doesn't stop until the credits roll. It's kind of like a modern day Black Hawk Down if there was no setup for the mission. Now, this might seem like a very hollow movie, but it's one of the richest movies I've seen in a while, really. And because of this minimalistic take on the war film genre, it earns the title Warfare better than any other. The movie isn't concerned at all with plot. It's not concerned at all with the politics of it. All it cares about is showing this struggle for survival. And I think what makes it so authentic is one of the directors and writers, Ray Mendoza, was actually one of the members of this Navy SEAL team. I'm a veteran, but I am not a combat vet. I'm not a Navy SEAL. I've never been in combat. A little about myself. I on my uniform I wear a combat patch. That is because I was in a designated combat zone on one of my prior deployments. Yeah, watching this movie, especially the opening 20 minutes, it is so real. This military culture that's in it is so authentic. Just the small interactions between the Navy SEALs, both in that opening 5 minutes where they're all hanging out around the TV, and also as the mission begins, those small little details, the small ways they interact with each other, it feels like something only a veteran could have written. The way they move as a team, the way they talk to each other, the way they engage in the action, it feels so unlike any other war film that I've seen before. Maybe not unlike, but it feels so much more real than any others. Some films get it really, really right, but the moment that first shot popped off in that movie, I knew we were going to be watching something truly unique. One of the best aspects of this film that really grounds it is it might be surprising, but it's the complete lack of score. There is literally no music. There's there's no music and there's no soundtrack to this movie. A lot of it comes from a cinematography standpoint that this movie puts you right into the action. And I know that's cliche, like especially with video games, like you feel like Batman, you feel like Spider-Man, you feel like you're part of the action. Once everything goes to hell, the way the movie is shot, the way the sound is edited, there's even at times a camera shake. It's very subtle, but it's incredibly effective at putting you in the mindset of the scene's focus. There's a point in the film I was probably squeezing my wife's hand a little too tight because it is extremely anxiety inducing. And while I said there are no moments of levity in this movie, I only mostly meant that. You see, there are moments I would consider moments of levity, but that's only when something goes wrong, but in not a bad way. When somebody trips and we're terrified that they got shot, but no, they actually just tripped. When there's a 3-second pause where there's a aerial show of force that is honestly, I know this wasn't the point of the movie, but it's pretty badass. The plane just comes in way faster than the speed of sound, and just like there's the whole cloud of just the boom as it goes through the road, and the dust flies up and everything. It's sick, but it's not real levity. It's not even a moment to breathe, and that's all you get from this. Like I said, I guess for 70 minutes because that's when it pops off. For 70 minutes, the only moments you have to breathe are just that very, very brief moments where something didn't go as wrong as possible. Nothing goes right, but sometimes it's not that bad. And at times, I can't even describe it as a war film. This is a surreal horror film. There's so much deep red coming in from the sunlight through red curtains, and it's always used in these really close up, shallow depth of field shots that just make you so uncomfortable. It feels like death is surrounding the entire world. And the movie, while it is gratuitous, it never feels gratuitous for the sake of gratuity. It feels gratuitous for the sake of, oh, this is real. This is real shit. Shots linger on bloodied and gnarled limbs, but it's never shown as gross out stuff. It's this is what happens. This is what people experience. This is what people truly go through, which only makes the whole point of there is no setup, there is no real resolution that much more impactful. Because the point is, once you're in that, that's all that matters is trying to get out of it, trying to survive, looking out for the person next to you. That is all the movie cares about. Looking out for this platoon, this squad that we're following, and praying with the audience that they all make it out alive. I really hope this movie goes up there with films like Saving Private Ryan and Black Hawk Down as movies we will pass on to younger audiences, to newer audiences in the future. Like, this is history. This is what people went through. These are the sacrifices that we honor every Memorial Day, every Veterans Day. Sure, we'll never be able to entirely separate the politics from it. We'll never be able to separate the history, the why, which that part, the why, when it does get addressed in a way that might anger some audiences, it it really is all that matters, because sometimes there is no why. Sometimes stuff just happens. We find ourselves in these places, and all we can do is try to get out in one piece. Go see Warfare. It's a 9 out of 10. Alex Garland, I was worried about you for a bit. I thought Civil War was going to be a huge misstep. You proved me wrong, and then you outdid yourself with this one. Good job. Good job. When you're ready, when it's ready, you can direct the third installment of the Empire of the Void series when it gets adapted into film. Something about Warfare tells me you could, and Dread tells me that you could do this one. All right, we're probably going to go back to a bunch of indie movies after this review. Later.